That's the main thing. So here we are. Well, we are live.
Okay.
I'm making
Okay.
it a record on our live for our things. So it looks important for me to make it live. Of your
Okay.
question. Yeah. Please.
Okay, namaste. We start to discuss the learning and teaching process in Oasis of Wisdom. And we came with the idea of talent, how to extract the talent. But then we find that connection between talent and wisdom. So it is connected, but also in some point it's opposite. And my question is it possible to introduce wisdom to educational system? Because we understand that wisdom is the part of the old age generation. And can the wisdom be the part of the young generation?
You mean the newborn child? It's a
Newborn
Pavel.
child, educations, schools.
It's a very fundamental question about education, not only us, but the issue is of all the education, any school, any education system, any country, they are educating children. The question arises, child asks many questions which belongs to the adult mind or parent mind. And the truth is truth. So question arises, how we answer these questions to the child, which we consider that the child is not evolved to understand our adult language, or that understand, or to comprehend that wisdom. Going to the very core of educational system, suppose where science is coming today, okay? And here is, we are talking about the multiverse, the parallel existence, the singularity and the Big Bang and the black holes and the white hole, different dimensions, and the possibility of the people living in different dimensions. Idea that nobody dies, life is eternal. If only bodies dies, so if a body dies in one dimension, immediately there is an expansion of another bodies in another dimension. So basically, you are not dying. You are just traveling from one dimension to another dimension in different space and time. You are eternal, moving. And now, this is a very crux of the thought which coming as a cream of intelligence to the scientist to comprehend this matter. This is it. This is the knowledge. This is the wisdom. Now, how you will teach it to a 3-year-old child? Is it possible? It is possible. A 3-year-old child will comprehend this and start comprehending the phenomena of all which we have talked about. You should have a communication model to communicate in the language of the child, to the brain development of the child, which cortex are developed, which cortex are not developed in the brain. In that way, what will change? Only the style of teaching. What you need to change is only style of teaching and your communication style, playfulness, what and how. If you claiming that you have the wisdom, it's your responsibility to find, to transfer the truth exactly in their language to the children. What you will say now, you will create stories. 2 theories are there, 2 ways to deal with this generation gap education system. If you think you are wise, don't change the truth for the child. Give it as it is in their language and find is challenging your teachings. You claiming if you have wisdom, you must have the style. Otherwise, don't claim I have a wisdom. You did not watch the whole processes in your life. Otherwise, you could easily transfer, meditate, and watch the processings again. The Madhyama. So, watching this, another theory is to give a completely ridiculous answer. Like a child asks you that how I am born. And ridiculous answer is, oh, we went into a fair and there it was the fair of children. Everybody was buying, you were so beautiful, we bought you from there. So two ways you deal with these things with the child. One way is fully making it joke. So when he grows up, and whenever you think that he is proper enough to learn this process of reproduction, you teach him. And when he learns, oh, it was just a trick. No? So he will forgive you and there will be no mistrust issues in parenting. And there he will not have a grudge against you or anger against you. But if you change the truth and tell him, and when he grows up and finds out, then he will be very angry. So the wisdom way is, don't be ridiculous. The ridiculous way is therapeutic. If mind is get caught in a very serious affair in any relationship, suppose mother, suppose father, or anyone. So the psychosis is that the person is very serious about this event. There is no remedy of this. If you try to analyze, then person will not come out of it. You cannot provoke his intelligence. So what we want to change the intelligence in the person who is very serious about a twisted relationship or some kinds of anguish relationship with his parents or with mother or father. Maybe he is very possessive, very attached with his mother, and that's creating the problem. Maybe he's loving too much, possessing too much. So whatever the reason of psychosis is, the person is very serious about the point. To deal with in psychotherapy in any way, if you want to deal with this issue, so what we want that make the person non-serious about it. So we create a therapeutic environment in which we introduce a communication model where everybody is mocking around something serious in the life. So you are very serious, very possessive, like my mother is very holy, very nice, the best mother I have in my life. But that is a problem sometimes. It can become a problem in the mind of the child growing adult. No, the child mind is okay, but in an adult mind, if this hypnosis there, it can create a lot of problem in relationships, in further relationship. In order to do that, introducing a communication model in a therapeutic environment, you mock about it. So you make the question, throw the questions about the mother to him, which will make him serious. And ask him, don't think, just make a joke about it. If the person jokes about the same point, that's what you wanted, and his seriousness starts to drop from that day. And psychosis gone. And other relationship starts to cool down, and he can better relate with his wife or girlfriend or spouse relationship. So two ways, either, but this is a therapeutic way to give ridiculous answers, completely non-logical answers, so that you are just saying that this is not a serious point for you to learn these things. This is make it a non-serious matter. So child will take an education, it's not so important. It's a fun or something like this. And then he will explore in his own way if you don't want to teach him. There is no point teaching biology to the child in a manner of the language which medical science is learning. This is not the language of the child. If you want to give the actual truth, the process of transmigration of the soul, birth, death, and the whole process before death, after that, all these things and known and unknown and 3-4 dimensions of knowledge. Can you give? Yes, you can give. Very easily to a 3-year-old child. You can, even the child does not have this question, you can supply the answers and train their mind to think this way in different dimensions of time, space, spirits, traveling, life, death, and the process of being born, becoming young and old. This should be the knowledge like this. If society is wise, if educational system has wisdom, that's the proof, the scale. Whether education system have only wisdom and just this analytical information, or education mafia just minting money at the name of education and seeing the generations as a crop, as an entrepreneur, they should be harvested. And that's education. I have all the answers, remedies, please.
And we already discussed it with Jenny. Maybe and we find out the core, because that talented kids always are the teachers for their parents. Maybe this is also the way for the wisdom of kids to put them in the position of teachers, not of the position. Ask them to teach you or to teach other kids something, and it gives them also the wisdom of life.
Pavel, you are asking question in 2 dimensions. It has 2 directions, no, of these questions. One is you are talking in a way of learning the knowledge the child has, like in parenting process. Your questions coming from parenting process. And we were talking about a communication model of 2 generations like this, or like grandfathers to relationship. Here we are talking immediate parenting processing, no? Like one parent to child processing system. So in parenting process of the child, yes. So in Madhyama, in the processing unit transfer of the knowledge, like child has a technical knowledge, and we were talking about. And then we talk about the gifted children, 2 ways. In any case, even the child is mentally retarded, parenting is growing together with the child. And is the child, if you grow with the child properly, child will remove all your childhood traumas, because you will see the tantrum of the child. You can see your tantrum parallel processing in you. So any childhood trauma remained in you. Now you will see the positive intention of parenting, which you before you were seeing it as an anguish, as a control, as a giant people controlling my life, or whatever, any misunderstanding remained in the child. Now all the trauma will be removed. So if the child is mentally retarded or gifted, in all the cases, parents should learn to grow with the child and grow as a parent. And they don't need to become a child. Or if they want, they can become a playful child for pacing, to teach the child to pace with the child, and their childhood trauma is removed. So this is a right parenting. If someone is doing right parenting and conscious parenting, in conscious parenting, as the child will grow, that much trauma will be removed from you. If child goes 3 years, so until 3 years trauma, he will remove right way of judgment. So there is a learning process from the child of the parenting. That's a general parenting learning. Like the parent should be trained for. Now comes the idea of another direction of what we had talked, a conscious way of introducing communication model, fixing a time, appointment, dates, and allowing a communication model into the group to transfer the wisdom and skill from the children. Now we have another way of dealing with the gifted children. Now these gifted children will exhibit completely new alternatives. All gifted children are born to give us alternative. That's how we call gifted. They are seeing things and giving alternative solutions to the problems which you don't have. So they are all alternative thinkers. They are pioneers. They are visionaries. They are good advocates. They can, in any way, good engineers, healers, not born messiahs or monks or hermits, whatever. Like they are born with that. This is they will show a little bit extra, fast development and extra things. Yes, we should have an special talented people to talk with them. And we should have a special communication model established to teach them. That's what I'm saying, that we have to go very unique way of teaching, and that's possible only now because such a micro way and like computer can easily manage and give us the analysis data. We don't have to analyze so much data with you coming, oh, like this. You can apply it with your child communication, child like control group, to whom child is communicating, to whom peer group is working, meeting, and your own things can give, analyze you, and give you parenting too. Oh, your child is developing this way, his character is going this way, and he has this extraordinary area. So in this extraordinary area, we know the strength of the child, and we need to know the weakness of the child. And the wisdom is always who is older is more responsible. That's at least in India.
But
if
I
you go
think
shopping,
the
if you go shopping with any elder in India, you don't have to worry about spending any money. You just have to choose. It's elder responsibility to give to you. So if you are elder generation, it's your responsibility to find out how to communicate with gifted children, how to learn, how to create modules for the parenting tools, and this generation gap communication of 3-4 generation gap communication, organizing conscious event, then dealing it differently, communications ways, introducing events, and a general parenting where the parents are with the child growing together. And we can experiment if you want nearby things where they can grow together, or just a camp hills, like where children come for 1 month and learn to grow together. And then elders says, no, we don't want children again next camp.
and also the question, maybe we can discuss it with Jenny. What, or maybe already discussed, what she learned from her gifted kids.
Yeah, what were our last time, the topic which we throw for the next? It was skill transfer, and then what was
Yes.
the next? Anyway, we can also include, we have to have 52 topics. Keep on thinking.
So this, yeah, transferring the knowledge, and who is the teacher and who is the student. It's always to change the position. It's maybe the part of the educational process of wisdom, that the teacher can learn a lot from his kids, and the kids can learn a lot from each other.
Look, we can see teacher, we can make him responsible for the growth of the students. One way, or we say we are taking the responsibility for the growth of the child. And here we can modulate teacher, we can train the teachers the way we want to educate the child, not giving the complete responsibility to the teacher itself. So we train the teacher to find out the weakness and strength in the child first. Every
Yes,
teacher
but
is responsible.
talent.
Teach with a system, not teaching with an haphazard way. Be
Mm-hmm.
spontaneous, be creative, but into a certain defined area. So each teacher job is to find first what is extra gift in this and what is the weakness of this person, of this child. And keep on then scheduling, rescheduling, teaching, whatsoever. But first we need to diagnose and recognize the child.
But
And
what is
then
the
because of his strength,
definition of?
keep on learning from his strength and keep on teaching his weaknesses and teaching him to cope with
But
his weakness and transform the strength. That's the teaching.
and what is the definition of weakness? Because uh, it's so small
Weakness
border
is
between.
just the opposite of the good qualities. We say weakness. Like good quality, first quality is being calm, composed, and giving response to any energy coming to you. You will say this is your
Mhm,
strength. You have emotional
mhm.
intelligence. You have emotional analysis. You can do better. Your brain can analyze emotions better and respond on this. So this is, we say this is your strength. On the contrary, we can say weakness that you can be easily provoked, become impulsive, aggressive to a critic or any energy coming to you. So we'll say weakness. So in some area, then we say how, or this is the weakness that you are very aggressive to your critics. So what we do, we say we can develop, let's play with some role models and some define some, make it play. And in that play, you make it in such a way that the child learns that there is a better way of communication and this is giving me more strength. So before he was gaining strength through anger and defense mechanism. I'm strong to protect myself. Here he becomes vulnerable and he say, oh, I feel much stronger to make a friend outside out of me, which could have turned a probable enemies. Now he's turning friends, so I'm gaining strength in a positive way. So this way, teaching the child the weakness turning to strength. This is what I mean by this.
But I feel also I realize that the weakness is contracting and the strength is expanding.
Yeah, that's another way. If you want to bring the Spanda principles to teach this to the children, you have to come with a different style, not with a theory.
Mhm.
No theory will work. Remember, if you say to the child, he can immediately cram. The definition of Spanda principle cramming is not a problem for him. But understanding, and you are talking about wisdom, not the informatics and cramming, no memory system, understanding system. The person starts to think, analyze, and build his imagination upon that principles. That's the wisdom.
But what about the middle path? Because in Patanjali also he said, or in Gita, they said that to realize the opposites, then you have to find the middle path and follow the middle path. Maybe it's also the
Middle
part of
path
the
is
wisdom, is the part of the wisdom way to follow the middle path.
look, wisdom. Middle path is only you can give an analogy like you are walking on a tightrope.
Hmm.
So you can say walking exactly in the middle is a middle path. But to walk in the middle, you should have two polarities to balance. So this balancing two polarities, walking the middle path is not that you will not wave. There cannot be any straight line. You will move always spiraling as a wave, vibrating, spanda. So you will move in a wave of oscillation, left and right, and then forward, and also circling. So in a way, spanda principle is that you are vibrating at the same point and also balancing between the left and right. This is your oscillatory. So you are oscillating and also moving and circling. Like Earth is oscillate, like circling and then also rotating. So oscillation and rotation, a curve, a movement, and that is spiral. So these both movements are always there. If you want to teach this way, you need to bring your voice and bring a communication model, introduce the talk in a way. Persons should not get a theory.
Yes, the practice is so when the kids face any issue, any
No, no, no.
person or
Inculcating the
any
wisdom. Child
yes.
learns that every particles oscillating and moving and circling and going. Everything with the stars, all planetary. But you don't say to them like this principle. You tell them in a story, create a drama and role play that they start thinking. If the next time they will think about cosmos, they will think, oh, they are moving like this. They are oscillating and moving. So their perception change. In Tantra, we say that we cannot work on intelligence. Wisdom, you want to transfer to the intelligence. You should not find any, you cannot know way. Only way is to change their perception so that they start thinking in a new way. Like somebody says, ghost doesn't exist. I don't believe in it. You take them in a place and he saw the ghost. Now his perception changed. Now onwards, in all life in his thinking, changed. It's a paradigm shift in thinking. You are thinking something, taking as a fact and truth. So next time, if you want to inculcate this wisdom to the intelligence of the child who is just not below 7 years, we succeeded in a way that child takes this under the intelligence, and next time when you talk, he will be thinking in a way. And when he will grow up, then he will find these principles written in the books. In a core principle, when he comes to the college or university, there. But learning has taken place already below 7. This is called wisdom. That's what we are talking about. And you can imagine the intelligence growing. And then you can imagine the communications between different generations. There are no gaps. Properly introduce the right way the education system.
So I get one, for me, it's a very important question to learn for the children is what is can you see the opposite? And if the person can see person saw something or some event and can see in the imagination see the opposite, so at that moment person goes to the observer point to observe the situation, and then it's a wisdom to see opposites, to see the middle path and follow whatever you want, so to make a
Look,
decision.
that's a different. Now we are entering into the child psychology and the learning process. No? Before
Mhm.
we were in the perception that was equating to intelligence. Now you are coming to the learning process of the child, the thought development process in the child. So even watching and rearing my child and watching the others on my mind, the thought development process in the child is to think. There's a clean demarcation when he starts to think opposite. First, child learns what you're teaching. Hmm? So first, like if you give the idea, the growth of the child until in gifted children, it's fast. That's how we learn which child is gifted, because which thought process is coming first, analytical, absent thinking, absent thinking. Like the child, you will introduce the child, oh, there are trees, the jungle full of trees. And one day, child reverts back to you. If there will be no tree in the jungle, how it will be? It idea coming to child itself, the mind is growing, opposite is being born. Every idea must breed exact opposite idea in the mind. Why? To walk in the middle. Otherwise, nobody can walk in the middle if the mind is not grown to opposites. That's we have to understand. We don't walking in the middle is non-dualism. It's a non-dualism and it's the extreme balance. It's already an extremity to balance between two. And all the time you will be going either something left or something right. Oscillation will never stop. If oscillation will stop, you will fall down. There will be collapse. That is a singularity. Let's say that any planet will collapse immediately. The may Spanda stops. You will collapse into the consciousness directly. Boom. You say black hole somewhere, we don't know where, but disappeared completely and immediately. So this, like in the learning process, this is the absence thinking. It starts beginning. Mind is developing to opposites. That's why when he will grow up, then he will learn to walk in the middle through the help of these two opposites, which mind develops. So if we inculcate here that we create fanatic breeds, if we suppress this opposite thinking of the child, not develop. So this first child cannot walk in the middle L balance. It will fall down lopsided one side and become the victim of any ideology and cause to the extent of self-destruction. This is mal-education which is producing terrorism.
Yes, yes, I realize it. So the understanding of opposites is the
It
part
comes
of
very early. I notice
yes, it's part of the wisdom, and also this moving that nothing is stable. To teach kids that nothing is stable, everything is moving, and it's yeah, contracting. Okay. So, mm,
see, only thing we need to be careful to teach the child not any theory. Look,
yes,
child,
yes,
everything is moving, nothing is constant. Remember, it will not grow his intelligence.
yes, yes.
It only become a part of the memory. Otherwise, no, every child will become like this. No, that's the
Hmm.
trick. That's the trick. No theories and principle, and child starts to think in the principles. Theory means again you coming to the same clerical education system. Kill the intelligence, make robots.
Uh, because robots, I realized that robots is the best in one special function. For one special function, you need a robot. But if the environment is moving and function is changing, so you cannot create a robot. You need
Not in all
intelligence.
the way, but when science evolves, then we will have multifunctional robots,
Uh, multi,
multitasking robots, multitasking, multifunctional robots, multi characters. Suddenly, it can become your mother and then father and then child. It can cater all your needs, psychological needs at the same time. It can sense what you need right now. Where you are parent, it can become the child and start involving you. So multifunctional robots on the way, don't worry.
yes, yes. Mm, so it's every function needs ego. I think we already discussed that ego was is
I
created
mean,
for each special function or goal. Each goal created the ego.
it's a time for each human to wake up that would you continue your robotic life? You are no better than any robot. So it's challenging. Either grow to your intelligence or you are no better than the robot. Even you are a human, but a robot is better than you. That's the point coming. And that's where the awakening, that's what I'm saying, that this is spiritual awakening, the proper knowledge and the proper education system will be needed. Because these scientists who are saying they are very developed and developing, they will be crying to see their own generations, next generation. For what we did all things, no? That this generation will become completely self-destructive and fanatic and die with themselves. So what's the point to realize this? So a proper education system is the must, and that says whether you have a wisdom or not. You allowed the opposite to develop in the child or not. That is the basic reason of all violence, all killings. These people who are fighting, what they don't have. They don't have their brain did not develop in education when they were before 7. Their mind were not developed and trained by an enlightened people. And seeing that allow the opposite to develop. So in the future, this child will be, if you have power and money, he will become a blessing.
Yes.
We want to continue same or we want to create new breeds. That's our choice. Or otherwise, everyone is no better than Robo. If you see a human potential terrorism coming up, child is developing lopsided, there is no future, only it will be painful for him, for others. What kind of motivation you will have to grow this child?
Okay. It's interesting that in the in 80s or 90s, when the America creates a movie, Terminator, the robot which is trying to save the planet. You know this. And and the same time in Soviet Union, they created also a robot, but his look like a schoolboy with the same mind and schoolboy can be the also because we realize the robots is something big and advanced, but robot can be also the schoolboy. I mean, they and teaching and learning and mhm. Okay. So today we come through the wisdom oasis of wisdom to the university of wisdom or educational process
University of
and
wisdom is in the process, sometimes coming
yes,
suddenly appearing, with its
yes.
education policies in the middle of the talk.
Okay,
So, okay, so
because
we talked
the
about, actually, we moved a lot, like
mhm.
wisdom that is belongs to soul, and then coming to intelligence, then coming to the percept that equated with perception, and then we entered in schooling system of parenting and learning system. So, but all nice